I'm a current footballer with Enfield Town at the moment, so I play centre back for them as well.
And how long have you played for them?
This will be my second season with them. So last year was my first season. This will be my second season.
And can you tell me how you got involved in football? Where the
I suppose like every young kid, at a young age, you go with your dad to go and watch the football games. My dad was a fanatical Arsenal supporter. You go in school and you know, everyone's playing it. It's the connection everyone has. It's how you get to meet people and socialise. So I was lucky enough to join a local team when I was 6, 7, and thankfully I've been able to progress my way up and meet a lot of different people along the way and share different experiences, and currently playing semi-pro at Enfield.
And so your dad introduced you to the game?
Yep.
And tell me about some of the memories that you remember with your dad.
I suppose the funniest story is probably why I'm an Aston Villa supporter. First game that I remember, when my granddad was alive, we used to go to the terraces, and you know, that was when, back in the old days, when you used to be able to stand and there weren't the old all-seater stadiums. I couldn't tell you who was playing at the time, but you had like the likes of Charlie Nicholas. But probably from the age of 9, 10, I was in a rebellious stage, went to Arsenal, Aston Villa. Aston Villa 1-2-1 and come away there, and the rest is history, as they say.
Do you think that football kept you on track or stopped you getting involved in certain types of behaviour or not? Tell me about that.
I would say so. I think I was fortunate enough to be dedicated enough. It was, I suppose, like every kid's dream is to become a footballer, and I weren't going to do that by having late nights, etc. My family drilled it into me at a young age: if you wanted something bad enough, then you have to put the hours and effort in. And I suppose working my way up until the age of 12, I was playing just local youth team football, and from the age of 12, that's when it really kick-started, because I managed to get on the books of Tottenham. Unfortunately, things didn't work there, but then I got a contract in Leyton Orient, and then that didn't work out. But I was thankful enough to experience what not a lot of kids do, and that's to go and play out in America before coming back. So I would definitely say so, because if I hadn't have been in check, I probably wouldn't have got the opportunities that I've experienced now.
And do you think you're just naturally sporty? If it hadn't have been football, do you think it would have been another sport?
That's a good question. I probably don't know the answer to that. You know, when you get football, that was the only thing I was concentrating on. I played other sports, but the passion really weren't there. Football was how I got to know so many of my current friends now and in the past and probably in the future.
Tell me about what it's like being part of a team.
Oh, it's fantastic. You can't, the banter, the camaraderie, you know, as I said a moment ago, it's the socialising. If you think about it, there's 15 players meeting up on a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, playing games. There's insults thrown around, there's jokes going on, and it is literally like one big family that comes together and has a laugh.
It's a very male family.
Yeah, but we have a woman physio here at Enfield. So yes, and also we have quite a few female friends as well. So, you know, yes, primarily it is male dominated, but I think you'll see in the last 10 years or so, women's football is suddenly becoming more and more into focus.
So what's it like going to different teams and kind of having to build those bridges?
Yeah, you know, it helps not only on a personal level, but also on a professional level. You feel comfortable in meeting new, different people. And I suppose it's not that difficult because you all have one common, you know, we've all got something in common, and we're all there for one thing, regardless of what background, who we are, what we do in our personal lives. For those 1 or 2 hours during the day of the week, we're there and sharing a love of football.
So you grew up in Enfield.
Yeah.
Is it any more significant playing for Enfield, or?
To me it is. You know, we obviously, everyone knows about the history, the people that are old enough to know about the history, and I suppose my memories of Enfield is going to watch them in the FA Cup at Leicester, going over there every now and then. And when I was at Leyton Orient, the reserves used to play at Southby Road. So to me, there was already a connection there, and I always said to my family, I'd like to be on the back of the advertiser. Yes, I'm on, in the past, back at local papers in Essex, but I always wanted to pick up and read the Advertiser or the Independent or the Gazette and see my name mentioned in the back, and, you know, without sounding stupid, it's something that I have achieved.
Tell me about playing in America. How's it different? What was it like?
It was a great experience. Fantastic, and just going back to friends, I still keep in contact with people out there. I go out there once a year, and it's built that bridge where my family actually go out there without me going there to go and meet and have holidays with the people that are out there now. But in terms of playing style, it's a little bit different. It was in the early 2000s, and the Americans were still getting to grips with football. The MLS was just coming to prominence, and they were more athletes on a football pitch rather than technical ability. So yeah, it took a while to adjust. But it was again a fantastic experience, and we're all there for one reason and one reason only.
Whereabouts in America did you play?
Probably one of the hottest parts of America going into it was Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. The heat there got up to 110, 120. God. And I don't know how much you know about football in America, but they have the 4 sports: the American football, etc., etc. And soccer, as they call it out there, was the summer sport. So you were playing it in the hottest part of the year over there. So it took a while to acclimatise. Being a guy from Enfield where it's raining 9 times out of 10 going out there, it was just suntan heaven outside of football. But in terms of a playing sense, it was, for the first 6 weeks, it was very difficult to acclimatise, etc.
So football really has completely influenced and shaped your life, hasn't it?
Yeah. I would say so, without a doubt. Without it, I would hate to think what kind of person I'd be without it, because it's made me who I am.
Do you have another job professionally, or are you just
I work in finance as a broker, so
in the city? In
the city, yeah. So it's a small world, just like Enfield, everyone knows everyone. So
tell me about the diet that you have to. Do you adhere to a certain diet?
I like to. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't always go to plan, but I think playing football for Enfield, being active in general helps, because I don't want to be unfit, and I probably wouldn't be playing the standard that I would be if I wasn't eating half decent diet. So the burgers and the Big Macs are a once a week treat rather than a more regular thing as a takeout.
Tell me about training.
Training's intense pre-season. As everyone knows, you don't see a football for a little while, and it's mainly running, and you feel as though you're in the wrong job and should be running an athletics track. But training's 3 days a week, so you've got your Tuesdays, your Thursdays and your Saturdays, and obviously you have a game either Tuesday or Saturday when the game plays, and then it's down to you whether you want to go to the gym to do things outside of that, like strength and conditioning.
Of all the games you've ever played, which one stands out?
Probably, I think the biggest one was for me was when I made my debut for Orient in the first team. So it was in Auto Windscreen Shield against Peterborough. That, in terms of how it meant to me, was very big, and I suppose in terms of in awe of professionals, was playing against West Ham in a testimonial game with the likes of Frank Lampard, Rio Ferdinand, Jimmy Bullard, that have all graced the Premiership, and it was nice to be on the same pitch as them.
Have you got more goals that you'd like to achieve in terms of football? What's the future hold?
Yeah, but I would like to obviously do well for Enfield. I think personal achievements in terms of making it as high as I can, are always there, but time's not always on your side, as I said. So it's a case of doing well for Enfield, making sure they stay in the Ryman Prem, and if not, pushing for Conference South. So when I leave, I can say I was a part of that team of where they are now, and I helped them get there.
Can you tell me a bit about playing at school, what football was like at school, how that shaped your football now, memories about that?
There were some funny memories. I think, like every kid, you start off in the playground with, your dinner lady or your school teacher would give you had an hour's break, and everyone wanted to play football, and then instead of a normal 11 aside, it was like 30 on one side, 30 on the other, and it was all sorts. But I remember you used to have this immaculate ball at the start of every term, and then by the end of it you go from this immaculate ball to week 1 where it was dishevelled, to finally by the 4th week in that term you were playing virtually with a stone. And that's how passionate us kids were. We would find anything, and it would be a Pacific stone that you could only kick around in week 4, because the ball that we had used was either on the roof of the playground and we weren't allowed to get it, or it was just totally in pieces. I remember the sponge balls, there was 3 different bits of sponges, and it was but as you work your way out from the school, and I think it's year 4, it might be different now, year 5, then that's when you can go through to the school team and actually play outside of school. It was mainly like every kid playing in the playground. Probably better equipment nowadays. But.
And if you were to meet a young aspiring footballer now, what would you say to them?
Listen, because you always think you know best, and you always think you got the attitude to make it and you've got the talent to make it. But it is true, if you want something bad enough, it will come true. And I know it's everyone says it, but I can speak from experience as to why I've got where I am and probably why I'm not where I could have been. So I'd definitely say listen, practice and enjoy it.
Excellent. Thank you. Anything else?